it's not thanks I think you're due for presenting me with this challenge, and I'm not going to attempt to sum up. I'm going to be highly selective. I was intrigued by the extent to which sex figured in our discussions today. That wasn't something that I expected. I thought it very important that Adrian started the morning by telling us about this building, giving us this, walking the walk, the illustration that we can achieve the factor 4 change. Because one of the things that occurs to me, that I'm fairly convinced about, is that we are constantly, not so much I think in this room, but outside this room, constantly underestimating the scale of the challenge that faces us, the scale of change that's necessary, and of course the scale of opportunities before us. Now, I think a really crucial part of today, the Renovate Europe study by Copenhagen Economics, gives us very important evidence of the scale of this opportunity. And indeed, I think St. John O'Connor suggested that, if anything, these figures are certainly not inflated. Those opportunities, and with this kind of evidence, I think we have a basis to seek to make the connection with the finance ministries, with our colleagues who have different priorities, and to try and establish those connections. I think Mary Donnelly, in launching the EPC campaign with several partners, underlined the message that the Croatian minister gave us at the beginning of the day, the opportunity in that particular area. But I think it is illustrative of the emergence of the need and the opportunity for innovation. We've heard from the European Parliament, we've heard from the European Commission, we've heard from a member state or candidate member state, cities and agencies, all in a variety of ways affirming the need for long-term thinking. And that kind of long-term thinking isn't always characteristic of our systems. And rather than, if you like, always talking about the need for behavioral change and so on, where we have difficulties, where we have barriers to rational behavior, well, then maybe we need to tackle those barriers in the way that that Copenhagen Economics highlighted. Some of the need for regulatory change so that we may be able to act in rational ways, to remove the perverse incentives. The issue of data was highlighted, and Sinjan mentioned some of the data, but there's also increasingly in Europe good data on our building stock through the certification of buildings. We can make that available in an anonymous fashion and improve, transform the area, working with Tanya, talking about the way in which we're now much better at the monitoring and verification, so we can give comfort to the new kind of businesses emerging, but insisting on reliable data on which they may found new business models. Carrots, sticks, tambourines, that was something that I'll treasure. But the changes, changing things, the way we do things ourselves, but the changes also in government, in business, innovation in industry, new kinds of business models and frameworks, so that behavior and actions and investment which is rational is enabled. I mean, the idea, I thought another important theme there was that we really cannot rely, indeed we must oppose the long-term subsidizing of activities that are already profitable. That cannot make sense. That subsidies are not a way to overcome these barriers. We need to change the circumstances that give rise to that need. One of the things I find most encouraging, not just here, but certainly it was sounded particularly in this final session, is how in the private sector there are still relatively small numbers of companies, but companies that are prepared, that are taking a long-term vision and saying, well, that's where things are going. I'm going to be there, not as a part of corporate social responsibility or not, but a core part of their business, because they're committed to be here in the long term. In some of our member states, it's difficult in public authorities to promote these views that extend beyond maybe the next 3-month report for the Troika. But you know, that's why I say it's really encouraging to see business taking these kind of views, and again that quote, energy efficiency seen as a stable investment market. Thank you, and thanks to all the speakers today.